Hello, welcome to Pre-Calc Equations with Real Solutions, section R5. Objective 1. Solve linear equations in one variable. Negative 5 times u minus 4 plus 2 equals 11 minus u minus 3 in parentheses. Remember your distributive property, you need to multiply the negative 5 into both the u and the negative 4 and the negative 1 into the u and negative 3. Okay, when you distribute in, you get the negative 5u plus 20 plus 2 equals 11 minus u plus 3. And then you're going to put your like terms together, and you're going to put the u's on one side and put the whole numbers on the other side, and when you do that you come up with negative 4u equals negative 8. And then you're going to divide, so u equals 2. Now you have fractions t minus 3 over, or t minus 2 over 3 minus t plus 7 over 5 equals t minus 4 over 10 plus 2. Here you want to think about what would the common denominator be for all of the fractions. And that should be 30, and then you're going to multiply everything by 30. And when you do all of the multiplying, 30 divided by 3 is 10, so that's how you get the 10t minus 20, because you distribute the 10 in. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Remember, that's a negative 6, so when you distribute in, that's how you get the negative 6t minus 42. And on this side, when you multiply by 30, you're left with 3t minus 12, and then 30 times 2 is 60. Here again, you want to put your like terms together and then move your 3t over here and your constants over here, and that's how you get t equals 110. Next, we're going to identify equations, conditional, contradiction, or identity. If you don't remember, conditional is when you come up with one solution. Contradiction is when you come up with a case like 0 equals negative 2 or 4 equals negative 5. The identity is going to be all real numbers, so they're going to be the same on both sides of the equation. Like 3x plus 5 equals 3x plus 5. You're going to have to use the distributive property here, 4 times 3 and 4 times negative 5. And then on this side, you're just going to want to put your like terms together, so you end up with 12 minus 20n plus 1 equals negative 20n minus 8. And then when you go to put your like terms together, you get 0n equals negative 21, which is not a true statement, so this is a contradiction. Okay, negative 5 plus 3x equals 3x minus 1. And so you have the distributive property here, minus 2. And negative 5x plus 3x equals the 3x minus 3. When you distribute that in, minus 2. And you simplify down to 3x minus 5 equals 3x minus 5. This is always true, so it's an identity. Here we have 2/3 y minus 5 equals 1/6 y minus 4. When you take 2/3 minus 1/6, remember you'll want to get common denominators, so this is going to become 4/6 minus 1/6 is 3/6, which is how we get the half here. And then add 5 to negative 4, you get 1. And then when you're dividing by a fraction, you actually multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 over 1. So that's going to get you 4. Since this is true for a specific value, it is just a conditional statement. Objective 2. Solve quadratic equations with real solutions. Solve by applying the zero product property. So first you need to distribute in, and after you get the distributive property done, then you want to collect your like terms on one side so that you're setting it equal to 0 here. After you have it set equal to 0, you need to factor 6m and m and 5 and 3. Remember, you're looking at the factors of 6 with factors of 15, that when you multiply 6 times 3 and 5 times m, they will add to your 23, your middle term here. Then you're going to take and set each piece equal to 0 and solve, and you get -5, 6, or -3. Then you want to take your answers and plug them back in here for m and check out your answers to see which one works. And in this case, only -3 works, so that's the only answer that works. Here again, you're going to have to do your distributive or your FOIL, however you want to think about it. You get n squared minus 2n minus 8 equals 27. Bring the 27 over. The factors of 35 that add to -2 lead to the 7 being negative because it's bigger, and then the +5, and you set each piece equal to 0 and solve. So either n equals 7 or -5. When you check your answers back in the original problem, you'll see that both answers work, so both are solutions. Solve by using the square root property. This means you want to isolate the square on one side and put the other numbers on the other side. So here you're going to add 30 over, divide by the 6, y squared is going to equal 5, and then you're going to take the square root of both sides, which leads into plus or minus 5. In this example, we need to isolate the z plus 11 squared first, so you need to add 10 and then divide by 3, so you get 120 divided by 3, which leads into the 40. Then you take the square root of both sides, so you get z plus 11 plus or minus square root of 40. Then you want to move the 11 over and simplify your radical, which is how you get z equals -11 plus or minus 2 square root of 10. Solve by completing the square and applying the square root property. So when you complete the square, first you need to isolate your c squared and your c on one side with your constant on the other side. So if we do that, we get 5c squared minus 11c equals 6. Then we can't have a number in front of c squared, so you have to divide everything by 5, which is how you get c squared minus 11/5 c equals 6/5. Then the completing the square says you need to take the 11/5 and divide it by 2 and square it. And if you take 11/5 divided by 2, you get 11/10. So 11/10 squared is 121 over 100, and you need to add that to both sides of your equation. This part then factors into the c minus 11 divided by 10, that power squared. And if you change this to 100, you're multiplying by 20, so you get 120 over 100, and 120 plus 121 is 242 over 100. And then you want to take the square root of this and take the square root of this side, and then move your 11/10 over, so you get 11 over 10 plus or minus the square root, and then 242 factors into 2 times 121 divided by 10. Since the 121 is a perfect square, you can pull it out front and you get 11 divided by 10 plus or minus 11 times the square root of 2 over 10, which can also be written as 11 plus or minus 11 square root of 2 all over 10 as one fraction.